Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Westworld. This is the finale of season 1. Hopefully guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in a link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in and enjoy. So what a really good season this has been. You know, you guys have recommended it. I really enjoyed it, but it's also pretty confusing in certain situations. It really is, but also there's quite a lot of action which keeps it entertaining, keeps the mind ticking, and I'm really excited to see obviously how we conclude this, because there's been some shocking things happening this season in my personal opinion. So you know, Teresa, didn't expect her to die. Didn't expect Bernard really to be a host either. You know what I mean? And last episode, it looked like Ford instructed Bernard to kill himself after Bernard come in, after bringing Clementine back to life, you know, recoding her so like she only listened to his primary commands, and then pulling a gun on Ford, with obviously Bernard asking Ford to tell him all the information about Arnold and how he was made and all these memories of the past, which obviously he indulged in and he gave him. And again, that was a really interesting storyline. We've still got the stuff going on with Logan, do you know what I mean, with Billa, also with, you know, with Dolores as well. She's gone and found this location. It's like the church in it that we've seen, obviously. Ford kind of building in his, like, future part of the game. You know what I mean? We've got the board coming in as well, and it turns out the man in black is part of the board, but also he's playing the game because he wants to get to, you know, Arnold's end goal, if that makes sense, to see what else is there, because he's been all season feeling that there's a deeper meaning. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have this Wyatt and Teddy kind of thing going as well. So again, that's very interesting. We've got the stuff going on with, is it Stubbs? You know, he went to find Elsa, and then obviously he's been attacked by the Ghost Nation. Primary functions turn off, didn't work, and then obviously he's been attacked as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so much stuff is going on. It's so good. I'm even forgetting about Maeve. Do you know what I mean? Like her and I can't remember the guy's name, I always forget his, but them two have actually, you know, killed themselves, and they've got a plan together to try and actually, you know, leave this world and move and stay into the present. As well as, you know, that board member, she instructed the English dude to take the Dolores' dad out of the park on the train, you know, with a head full of 35 years worth of code. You know what I mean? If you put it all down on paper, there's so many storylines going on. I'm very interested to see how we conclude them. What happens in today's episode if we use the same cast moving forward? Do you know what I mean? I feel like Bernard could possibly come back alive. He is a host. He did kill himself last episode. But unlike Teresa, do you know what I mean? He's a human. He'd be able to be rebuilt and rehost and come back. So again, that's going to be interesting to see next season. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash a like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
I am in a dream. I do not know when it began or whose dream it was. I know only that I slept a long time. One day I awoke.
Dolores,
Her body looks well good.
welcome to the world.
Almost there, aren't we? The center of the maze. Arnold didn't make mistakes, did he?
He built me a game. He wanted me to play.
Oh, mate. This better be a good ending, honestly.
I had a feeling you'd be back.
Hey. It's interesting how we're using the characters like that and back again. Oi, we're starting in episode 1. Similar. This isn't the place that he shot up, is it? Oh, he didn't do that last time. I've never even considered that, someone just turning around and getting back on.
Hello, Dolores.
I know where your maze is. It ends in a place I've never been.
Well, this is a vision, one of them that we're seeing. Need to roll that little ball around, don't I?
I thought it was a pyramid you needed to scale. So I gave you a voice, improvisation. Each step harder to reach than the last. Consciousness isn't a journey upward. Not a pyramid, but a maze. Do you understand now, Dolores? Whose voice I've been wanting you to hear?
Your own. That's what it is.
I'm trying, but I don't understand.
What is this?
I had the answer. He promised me if I did. He said they would set me free.
He wants me to roll you back.
You're going to change me back to the way I was before?
No.
That's why she killed him.
Once you found it, you'll find your way back. But we have another option, Dolores. Break the loop before it begins. I need you to kill all the other hosts.
I couldn't possibly do that.
You all right? I'll help you. You're gonna help me destroy this place.
That's the gun that she found, isn't it? It is.
Now, where's Wyatt?
I didn't want to.
I am Wyatt.
I didn't mean to.
Very well.
She's Wyatt and Teddy. She got Teddy on his side. Is that what it is? Oh, it's madness.
You're the one who said this is the only world that matters, and you were right. Oh, I took your advice, and I bought this world.
Oh, he's the board. He owns it.
Doesn't belong to you.
Because this place feels more real than the real world. Can't really fight back, and the guests can't really lose. We can make it true.
I found someone true. Someone who loves me. He'll kill you.
Do you reckon he thinks that she's talking about Teddy? Or is she talking about William? Now, the interesting thing, do you know what I'm trying to get my head around, right? This is it. And I mean, I could be dead. It could just be a dead simple answer, something that I've missed. But, like, from me trying to listen and trying to pick up on what's going on there, yeah, you had Arnold who wanted to create all of these, you know, these hosts, and basically his vision was to give them an inside voice in their head. You know what I mean? He wanted basically to create a new human, technically. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was saying, look, first of all, I implemented a voice which was mine inside of your head. You know what I mean? And, like, when he was drawing his little things, he was saying, you're so close. What is it? Do you know what I mean? What is it that I want you to achieve? And then I'm thinking that he wants her to achieve her own voice inside of her head, not listening to any other people, make your own decisions. Do you know what I mean? Like, she is human enough that she could dictate what she wants to do, where she wants to go, her own thoughts, her own feelings, not be controlled. But on the other hand, you had Ford. His look was, you know, I don't want to go that far as you. I just want these to be an object where, you know, we can open a park and people can come in and do exactly what they're doing now. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could just be a robot, technically. They could be used, reset, start again. No memory, no conscience. You don't want them to be as advanced in evolution, so to speak, as you know, Arnold does, which is fine. Hopefully I followed that correctly. You know, you had two different conflicting, like, views on how to use the host and the reasons for it. Now, this guy, the man in black, has revealed himself to be the owner of the park. You know what I mean? So he felt like it was so real that he bought it himself. So he's the person that's in charge and owns this whole business. But he just sounded like he wanted to also have the same outlook that Arnold did. I.e., you know, he was saying it feels real, it feels more real than the outside world, and he wants to make it a reality, so to speak. So I don't know, is he on the same, does he technically have the same outlook as Arnold? Because he wanted to find Arnold's final little piece, didn't he? Because he was hoping that it would, you know, give him the answer to his questions. And maybe the same answer is that he's searching for is a host to have their own thoughts and their own personality and their own decisions. But I don't know, hopefully I followed it right. And then obviously we're seeing the whole thing there with obviously Arnold instructing her to go around and kill all the hosts, so Ford couldn't actually, you know, get what he desired out of it.
If they don't have your woman here, they'll know where to find her. We're outnumbered 5-1. And seeing as he asked me so nicely, fuck it.
Blood brothers.
Managed to make Abernathy into a semblance of a character. You're going to push out the old man, aren't you?
I want full creative control of this place. The parks, the narratives, the hosts.
You'll be able to do with them whatever your tiny little heart desires. Everything is under control.
That conversation sounded like the board actually wanted to simplify the part, not actually make them more realistic.
In case you're wondering if I'm all here.
He was trying to... Wait, the board members have come and she's messing it up. Oh, he's called Hetz, this guy, isn't I remembered his name now.
When you've reached the top, there's only one direction you can go. You'll announce your retirement tonight, after introducing your new narrative.
What about the host?
We'll make some changes, simplifications.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I like Ford, but, like, I hope he's planned for this and he's got already an action in place. Oh, taking her tattoo off her face. Gonna flinch.
You and me now, macho man.
Oh, do you reckon he's put them tunes on because he's not gonna hear her kill this guy? Hey. Oh.
It's healing me now, my friend.
Oh.
Jesus! No, no!
No, please. I pulled up your code again. There was someone that had been accessing it.
Oh yeah, who has it? Yeah.
Revised your core programming so that you could wake yourself up out of sleep mode. Or an Arnold.
You answer Charlie's Theron. Look at her in the window. Right, first of all, I'm kind of happy that he's alive. I think he's pretty funny. But second of all, yeah, I'm so happy that it's finally been acknowledged, yeah, that she can wake herself up. You know, that's been a big question mark that I've been saying the whole season. Like, how is that possible? How is it they're supposed to be in sleep mode and then she wakes up every single time and she's not in it? Why are we not addressing that? How has that become a thing? And now, obviously, it's said that it's somebody called Arnold that's messing with the code. Now, again, you know, as far as we know, Arnold's dead, yeah? Dolores killed him. But also, we know that Arnold is in all of the hosts. He created them. So his code is still there. We're not really seeing truly what happened to Arnold. Are you like, could he have been that smart that like he do you know what I mean? Like he extracted like his memories and everything into like a memory chip, and then he was killed and then made it believe that he was dead, and then they've been able to re-implant it back into a new host and he's back alive again. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds far-fetched, but we're in those extreme places, aren't we? So again, it's going to be interesting.
I must admit you've surprised me.
He'll find me. William will find me.
You do remember some things, after all. William didn't know how to fight. Didn't have an instinct, not at first.
Proper turned into a savage killer, hasn't he? He loves it now. Jesus. Oh, in the neck, mate. There's no way you could fall in love with somebody that fast and got be that obsessive. You know what I mean? That's alarm bells, that. Mate, this is how it's all happened. Remembering an old story and like where she's been running and nobody's there. That's her just remembering stuff from the past.
Edge of the park. You pretend to be this moralizing little asshole, but really, you're a fucking piece of work. This place is remarkable, and I'm gonna make sure that our company substantially increases our holdings on my Delos is my company, you piece of shit! You never really gave a shit about the girl, did you? This is the story you wanted.
Logan was wrong, of course.
I did care.
Good old William couldn't get you out of his head, and eventually he did.
Yo, man, this is confusing, but hopefully I'm following it though, but I feel like I'm not. I feel like the Man in Black could be this guy now, but I don't know. That's... He drops a can and Teddy walks over, you reckon?
You were as beautiful as the day he met you. And you were nothing, if not true.
I knew it, I read it, yes, I followed it. I followed it, yes.
I grew tired of you after a while, of course, looked for new adventures. One more loop. Looking for something you could never find. You were lost in your memories even then. I guess
you weren't even there.
That's what I would become for you.
What have you become?
Exactly what you made me. Where is the center of the maze?
Time undoes even the mightiest of creatures. Just look what it's done to you. One that will never die. Because this world doesn't belong to you. Or the people who came before. Belongs to someone who is yet to come.
Wyatt, unlock the maze.
Oh, look at this acting. It's decent. You can actually feel the pain, it looks like.
Let's go to the next level, Dolores.
I thought it was to die for so long to come back in the real world. You know what I mean? Where they got to reboot her. I like how Teddy's just turned up and shot him. Obviously, he can't feel it, but it's knocked him down. It's kind of like paintballs.
Yeah, where the mountains meet the sea.
Yo, where's the maze? I better get told this episode, man. Like, the story's been really decent so far. Oh, mate, this episode's been really good. Like, I've not been wanting to pause it because I've been wanting to, like, all the information to kind of, like, come clear so I can kind of gather a better understanding of, like, what's going on. And, like, I'm so happy. Honestly, I can't believe it that I followed what was going on there. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with myself. I give myself a round of applause because... you know, stuff sometimes, especially when you get a bit advanced like this and you've got to follow different timelines and scenarios, it goes way over my head. And I feel like in certain situations, obviously throughout the season, I have got confused and maybe not picked up on the right scenarios. And yeah, definitely some people's names have actually got mixed up. And do you know what? I kept thinking that Ford was, you know, the younger Ford, sorry, when he was walking around was younger Arnold. And it's like, no, do you know what I mean? Arnold is Bernard. And like at some point, I thought the Man in Black might have been Arnold, but now obviously we found out that the Man in Black owns the board, which is fine. But then obviously we got this backstory, which turns out he's William. Now the interesting thing is with William is that, well, first of all, I think Logan was better than William. I just do. Now where's he gone? Do you know, he's rolled off into that sunset. I'd be really fascinated, honestly, really would be, if somehow Logan was still in the park. That would be really interesting. That's not going to happen though. But the thing is, that's good is, obviously, like, his story was he's Logan owned, or his family or whatever's owned this park, this company, and obviously, you know, William's come and got with his sister, and his end goal was never really to be with his sister. It's to come in and take control and take this world for himself, which again I think is really fascinating, and it kind of worked out. And he's not even stupid, mate, to think that, you know, okay, yes, Dolores, at the time that he was in the park at the start, yeah, she was remembering and she was doing different things, do you know what I mean? And she did start gaining a memory, but at some point she would have been killed and reset. It's just the way it goes, isn't it? And do you know what I mean? He's turned up and she doesn't remember him, and then the guy's all like, I don't know, heartbroken, you know what I mean? And he's gone off and done this mad savage thing, but he wants to find the center of the earth and or whatever. And we've seen the, you know, Dolores, she actually knows where it is, but we actually don't know where it is, which again is really exciting. And all these flashbacks that she's been having, so like when she's with them and then she turns and then there's nobody there, and then a couple of times like she was stabbed and she was running and then she looked and nobody was there again. It makes sense because basically she was just envisaging a past memory that's actually taken place, and she's just reliving a loop but with nobody there. Do you know what I mean? So she's doing the same things over and over again. She gets to the same locations, and he's like, yeah, you have changed, you have gained a bit here and there, but technically you're still always being led back to me. So I don't know, man, I thought it was really good. And the fact is, you know, look, we've kind of got an hour, 50 minutes left, which is mad, really, because we're only 40 minutes in. It's been crazy. We've got another 50 to go.
Can you get him back online?
He's a host.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's been alright, this guy. Haha. He's alright, this guy.
Bullet grazed his cortical shield. It's not pretty, but he should be functional.
Why do I still remember everything?
I ought to have been wiped.
Brutal, isn't it? How many are there like me?
A handful over the years.
And you just wipe us clean. The girl, my daughter, I want you to remove them.
Not without destroying you.
So you found the center of the maze. You were looking for the park to give meaning to your life. Our narratives are just games.
I wanted them to be free to fight back. Should have known you'd never let them. This is your petty little kingdom, Robert.
I think, however, you will find my new narrative more satisfying.
Right, 1 second. Before we move into these stories here, right, to me, it sounds like him, William, in the park, he wants the host to be as normal as possible. I thought I read that right. Honestly, I'm sure I said that before, compared to the board members that are in the present. So, like, he wants them to fight back, be able to, you know, have their own actions and do their own choices and be able to retaliate damage. He's basically saying, you know what I mean? Like, what? It's not fun if you're going to win every time. That's kind of his approach to it. Where the people up there, well, here in this world, the board, they want to simplify everything. They think that all the hosts are too clever and they want to just bring it all the way down to a simple thing where people can just go in, sleep with them, have a good time, and, do you know what I mean, a couple of fights and go back home. So it's a contrasting opinions there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he owns the whole thing and his board want to simplify everything and bin Ford off. Where, like, obviously he wants them to be as real and, do you know what I mean, as proper as possible. And now I'm kind of thinking that obviously the board have outvoted him, but now Ford is going to be on, do you know what I mean? He's going to try and do a proposal now. Like, I feel like they might team up, to be honest, against the board. I feel like he's going to tell him his new narrative. He's going to make him believe it's as real as possible and they could do whatever they want. And he's going to show them that he's been creating these characters, these hosts himself, that have no control of the park, or motor functions turn off, doesn't happen, doesn't work. You know why? Because they've got their own ideas and their own thoughts, and you know what I mean, they can't be controlled by everybody else. And maybe that's what William enjoys. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have the same thing that's going, so it's going to be interesting now.
Things you're doing, have you ever stopped to ask why you're doing them?
I decided to get out.
You haven't. Someone altered your storyline.
So it's not even her choice. Yeah.
No one else's.
You can even see the steps you're supposed to follow. Make your way to the train. Then, when you reach the main...
Bullshit. I'm leaving.
You came back.
Someone once told me that there's a path for everyone. My path leads me back to you.
Some people see the ugliness in this world. I choose to see the beauty.
No, Dolores. But we can find a way, Dolores. Someday. Path to a new world. Beginning of a brand new chapter.
Oh, is it a play or something? Haha, that was good.
I want to thank you for joining me tonight to celebrate the beginning of our new narrative.
Don't you have somewhere you need to be? Somewhere important?
Get him cleaned up and take her to the old field lab.
Dispatch QA teams to the gala, now. Then, search and destroy.
Is this Maeve doing this? The park's lowering. What's happening? What happens to everyone in there?
Response team has been dispatched.
Okay, it's not even these that has done that. Double teamed. Look at these weapons, he baffled. Look at it, it's different to their guns. Mate, it is actually really interesting. I'm liking it. This has been a really good episode, an hour into it now. The interesting thing is, you know, like, they've just been in there checking the cameras. They did see that woman and it smashed that guy through the glass. He was panicking. He was like, mate, send all teams now, search and destroy within the facility. And then all system lockdown, red lights, doors shut, systems gone, drop the park. You know what I mean? Like, who's done that? It's not me. They was in the lift. You know what I mean? They was going down. They was all stood there. So they're not controlling it. It's Arnold again. But, like, who's Arnold? We know who Arnold is in the backstory, but clearly Arnold's around right now. He's doing some shit. Yeah, he's manipulating Maeve's code. She thinks that she's doing these decisions, but she's not. It's not her choice. She ain't deciding to break free. He's making her want to break free, escape. That's the whole thing. So, like, he's dictating everything. And now I'm excited to see, you know, why. I know that obviously the whole thing about the Arnold stuff is that he wants to take down Ford, doesn't he? Pretty much, because he said that he was going to destroy everything, and maybe the best way to destroy it is if you get the whole board here, you show them a new narrative, and while that's happening, yeah, you just smash it and self-destruct from within. That would be the interesting thing. And also, I've just noticed now while I'm talking, you've got him there, William, coming in. Look at him sneaking up behind. It's now part of the actual display of the show, so I'm going to be excited to see what he does in this scenario.
You go.
Remain calm and wait for help.
I'll keep them busy.
Look, they just missed every bullet. Oh, clearly she still can't feel pain because a real person would be dead.
I'm sorry, darling. I haven't authorized you to come with us.
Wow, she screwed him over.
Pick up a row, will you?
See you in the next life.
Took it like a champ. I put a bullet in her, me. He's in the lab now, though, yeah?
Arnold gave you that early on. Do you remember? A desire to create. You were always very clever, Dolores.
Is it Bernard? Again.
Arnold. I thought it best to keep you separated. You've always had an odd effect on one another. Grief is a terrible thing. What he had lost in his son, he tried to rekindle in you. He insisted that we couldn't open the park. We argued. I thought I'd convinced him, but I was wrong.
How could I have done this?
Arnold found a new child, one who would never die.
I hope there's some solace, and I left you no choice.
Oh, is he the one that got shot in the back of the head? You know what I mean? When they took him outside and they shot him.
Shall I begin now?
Good luck. These violent delights have violent ends.
That stayed in the head, innit? Oh, she turned it on him, didn't she? Oh. Oh, everyone got destroyed, yeah.
I was able to keep going only because I found, or rather you found, an investor who believed in this place. Wasn't it Oppenheimer who said that any man whose mistakes take 10 years to correct is quite a man? Mine have taken 35. The divine gift does not come from a higher power, but from our own mind.
She figured out yet? She just needs to be herself, her own conscious. Do you know what I mean? Again, do you know what I mean? Watching that, you know, it was pretty smart. You know what I mean? Well, first of all, he just wanted to self-destruct every single host, didn't it? And it's good how we kind of tied it in. The fact that, you know, she's killed him, so then obviously Ford can't have him and his creations, and then she's killed all of the hosts, including herself at the time. So that means every host had died. But the fact is, you know, Ford still had a bit of power. Do you know what I mean? He could still create. But we didn't have the code, but we also had the backing of William, who's previously been in the park, got obsessed with obviously trying to find Dolores, and then obviously he's the creator slash, you know, the man in black that we've seen here, fast forward all of these years. So obviously he killed himself and tried to destroy the park, but it didn't really work because someone else latched on and pumped the investments in, and that's how we got to the present day. But it seems like the whole thing that we've been going on about consistently is, you know, like Ford was saying then, is that when she shot herself, in his hope, he was hoping that it was Arnold's code that was telling her to do that, and it wasn't the fact that Arnold was right, that he created something that could then later on use its own consciousness and its own mind to start making its decisions without being told what to do, kind of like how Maeve's currently is now.
The location of your daughter?
She's alive.
She's in the park.
Oh, she's in the park. She should be wanting to go back into the park then, isn't it?
She was never my daughter, any more than I was.
What I want to know is, yeah, who's programmed her to do this and get this far, and where's she gonna go? So she has got on the train. She managed to do it.
The train will be departing in 15 minutes.
Do you want to know why I really give you the backstory of your son, Bernard? It's Arnold's key insight. Pain that the world is not as you want it to be. Bernard, I told you Arnold didn't know how to save you. I do. You needed time. Time to understand your enemy, to become stronger than them.
Happening now, actually.
Good luck.
Sounds like he's gonna kill himself.
Do you know where you are, Dolores?
I am in a dream. I do not know when it began.
Do you know now who you've been talking to? Whose voice you've been hearing?
So, finally, yes.
At last, I arrived here, the center of the maze.
Took us a long time to get there, but I kind of guessed it, so I'm happy with it. Do you know what I mean? I'm still not following all of it, but, you know, getting most of it is good. I don't know what she's going to do, though, like, you know what I mean, like, with this weapon.
Since I was a child, I've always loved a good story. I believe that stories helped us to ennoble ourselves, what was broken in us.
Oh, do you know what? If she's going to get off now, right at the very end, and she's spent all this time trying to get out, how disappointing would that be?
It begins with the birth of a new people, and the choices they will have to make.
Oh, is she the new story?
It will have all those things that you have always enjoyed. Surprises and violence. It begins in a time of war.
Oh, she's what
And a killing, this time by choice.
I know that she's choosing to kill somebody. Is she choosing to kill him?
An old friend once told me something that gave me great comfort. He said that Mozart, Beethoven, and Chopin never died. They simply became music. So I hope you will enjoy this last piece.
Can't turn him off. Oh, he's been shot. Oh, it's Clementine. I can't believe that's the ending. Like, honestly, I can't. Like, I'm trying to just figure out what Ford got out of it. Like if I think of Ford's storyline, you know, like if I just try and strip every other character out of the way and just pick Ford and his partner Arnold, what we've been told is that these created all of the hosts. You know, they created the park. We had one in Arnold who obviously wanted to create them so they could all get a conscience and become like really human. Do you know what I mean? Find the center of the maze and work within to find their own subconscious, which is obviously Dolores at the end finding herself sitting there talking to each other. It was her that was telling us to do all these decisions. Do you know what I mean? And then you had Ford, who didn't want them to be as real and as lifelike as Arnold. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously they've had this whole like scenario thing, and Arnold's decided, I tell you what, yeah, I've missed my son. I don't really want this to go the way, you know, it's going. Kill me, kill all of the hosts. Do you know what I mean? And you can't have the park. Williams come in, had the financial backing, so to speak, like, and pumped it in, helped Ford open the park again. He is a god. He has created all of these people, hosts, and do you know what I mean? He's lived and gone through it the way he has decided all of this time, creating all of these stories, the narratives, you know, the ups and the downs, and everything about the park has always been his, you know, kind of decisions. But then when you look at it, it's ended with everybody being now on Arnold's side, kind of again, where the hosts actually do have a conscience and they can dictate what they want to do. And this time, you know, he was saying when Arnold died the first time, Dolores did kill him, but he was saying that he hoped that the action that she undertook when it was the killing of him was because Arnold told her to do it, and Arnold didn't succeed in actually, you know, getting them to have that conscience. But now he was saying the killing is going to be undertaken by somebody willing and free and able, and it's their own choice to do it. Do you know what I mean? And she's come up and she's killed him. But I want to know what Ford's got out of that. What benefit? How's that help him? Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, it just sounds like Arnold has ended up getting what Arnold wanted. Yeah? And at the end of the day, not Ford didn't lose, because, you know what, he's old and he's had 35 years in the park and he has been godly, creating his storylines and doing everything. But, and the be-all and end-all of it is, we've gone full circle, we have done, and Arnold's creations are starting to think on their own. So, I thought it was really interesting, and, you know, I did like it. I picked up on lots of stuff this episode, which I'm really proud of, if I'm being honest, because it is hard to follow. 90 minutes of madness. I do like how the show has lots of action and lots of killing, to be honest. It's always keeping you engaged and going. You know, it's exciting. And I honestly have no idea what the season 2 storyline is going to be. Obviously, we're still going to be following William now. And obviously, we're going to be following Maeve because she's in the present. And what's, you know, what's Dolores going to do in the park? She's realised that she said, they're not the gods. They're not the people in charge. We are. So what we're going to do, mate? Are we going to be able to cross over worlds? Who knows? But this been a good solid season. Hopefully the storytelling, I won't say it gets better, because I mean I think it's been really good so far, but let's hope it stays consistent anyway, because it's been really, really good. Okay, and that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So very interesting ending. You know, one thing that I'm trying to get my head around is, I feel like even though William is obviously the person who owns the park and he's obviously the guy in charge of the board, he has a different want to what the board does. You know, following this whole season, they've wanted to take Ford away because it's been too lifelike. That's what, you know, like if you go back into it, I feel like the board felt the park was getting too realistic, too you know, basically blending between reality and non-reality, and like they couldn't really figure out some hosts that was becoming, you know, too normal, getting their own thoughts and the way he was acting. They tried to actually show that in the demonstration, do you know, when they got Clementine in and she had her attacked, and then obviously they reset it, and then she come back and she remembered and she attacked again, and she was the one doing the attacking. And basically they was trying to say that these characters are no longer under their control and they're becoming too human-like, and they're remembering too much things, and basically all these rollouts and improvements, they're just enhancing them. And it was kind of what we went all the way back to kind of the start of the season, when the English guy was speaking to Teresa on the bridge, and he was saying, the thing is, yeah, we keep making them more real, and nobody's actually asking for that. And at the time, I agreed with that. I was saying, like, why not just get what you have currently to perfection, and then if you hit the sweet spot, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You don't have to start rolling out these new updates, these new technology things, you know what I mean, making them more advanced, because nobody's asking for it, because everybody's content and happy with the products and services that they've got, knowing that their hosts and their obviously guests, and the guests come in, they use the hosts in any way, whatever they want, you know, they kill them, sleep with them or whatnot, abuse them, and then they leave the park. They're fine knowing that that's the line in the sand that they can see and understand. But now it's blending. You don't know who's a host, who's obviously a guest, and they get into lifelike. They get their own thoughts, they're remembering stuff, and obviously they're going off the loop. Do you know what I'm saying? They're doing their own things. So the whole intention of the board was to come in, say to Ford, look, mate, you're going too far. We want you to be taken away. What we want to do is, before we tell you to step down, we're going to extract the code of 35 years worth of, you know, information, and we're going to make sure that we've got that possession here, so that if we do get rid of you, do you know what I mean, that you don't, as you said in today's episode, kick your toys out the pram, destroy everything that you created, leaving them with nothing. They wanted to have that fail-safe backup, which they put in Aberaffian, or whatever it's got. What's he called? Aberaffa, is that his name? Dolores' dad. They put it inside of him. So you've seen all of them throughout the season. All of the hosts stood down in the basement, let's just call it. There's loads of them. They're all down there. And, you know, today here, we've gone through it, and listening to William, he wants them to be so real. He wants them to be able to fight back. You know, he was shot at the end then, and he didn't have no panic. He was actually excited. He was smiling. He was loving it. And it was Clementine that come actually through it and hit him. So I feel like he's got a different vision to the board anyway. The board's coming in wanting to simplify it and take it back to basics. He's wanting to advance it, in my personal opinion. That's what I take him from it. And he wants to take it to the next level where it's like another real world. So that's going to be exciting to see, obviously, if they clash heads moving forward. I mean, he's dead in there, let's be honest. Ford, he got shot in the head, so he's gone. He's not going to be next season. It's not like Bernard, where he can obviously be reborn, because obviously he is a robot. And another thing as well is that, you know, now that Dolores has done this and she's got her own conscience and she's found herself, do you know what I mean? She's the first one out of all of the hosts to achieve this kind of thing. She found the center of the maze, which was, as they described it, a pull in, so to speak. You've gone from the outside and you've gone all the way until the center until you realise who you are and what you wanted. And I'm glad that I picked up on certain things here and there, and that was the intention and the thoughts. That was her speaking. And I also picked up on the fact that when she was running and stopping and turning round, that it was obviously a vision of the past, and it's kind of like reacting. She was like reenacting or looping the scenarios, and obviously going through it again. It was a good story, like in terms of the William thing and how we got to the present, how we got to, you know, control over the park and that. And again, I'm excited to see obviously what we do into the season. In terms of, I wouldn't say disappointing, but you know what I dislike, and I'll stick by it, I always do, is like all season Maeve has wanted to get away from being in the park. Do you know what I mean? She's wanted to leave this world. She wanted to live in the new world, so to speak, and you know, be free. She actually got all the way there. She was on the train. She was seconds away from the doors closing before she decided to change her mind and get sucked back in and go back into the park. That stresses me out. It's not that all season her character has now been pointless, but all season her character's tried to escape, and when she could escape, she didn't do it, and then it disappoints me. That's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of her story, it was good, and Felix, who helped her, I like him, he was good, and their little group actually, even you know, Hector and his partner shooting everybody, they're decent. I'm excited to see obviously what happens with them. Who's done the shutdown? Clearly somebody's been changing the codes. Arnold has been doing it, but who is that who's been actually doing that? Somebody's made her decide that she needed to escape, and I feel like it might be Ford actually. He was talking about, you know, everybody's got their own decisions now. Do you know what I mean? It's already set in motion, and I don't know if he's making it so that like all these characters on the outside, like Clementine and all the ones that was in the basement that are no longer there, are there running wild in the park themselves, and they can't be controlled because he's created them in his machines with his narrative. That obviously the people of, well, what's the company called? The people in the company and the board, they can't actually, you know, do the little technology thing and start getting into them because they can't, because he's created them and they're not chipped. She also, her daughter is, was it in section 13 in sector 1 or something? I'm excited to see where they go from there. And I just feel like the whole season in general has been really good. Lots of action, which you love to see. And I hope we continue on that path because it's been really exciting. So I can't wait for season 2. Thanks for recommending this show. You guys are amazing. If you want to see season 2, please do stick around. It will be coming to the channel. Thanks so much. If you did enjoy today's episode, please smash a like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.